Select. Wow. Oh, wow. Select. There it is. Wow. Oh my God. Oh, this game's amazing. This sim's already amazing. What happens whenever you reset the NFL back to the year 2000? To give us some context, let's just talk about some of the stuff that's happening. The New England Patriots had just come off one of the most shocking Super Bowl runs in NFL history. As for the start of the season, at least by week 2, they thought their season was over after quarterback Drew Bledsoe took a terrible hit to the sideline that nearly killed him. However, in came unknown backup Thomas Edward Patrick Bradelson Jr. And I think we all know how the rest went in the real NFL. However, Brady's just only gotten his first ring in 2001. And now we're in the year 2002. And Bledsoe is now the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. However, what about other teams that didn't make it? The Steelers are now actually quarterbacked by Cordell Stewart during that time. However, now there's a QB battle between Maddox and Stewart. Who will win? Find out later in the video. The Steelers had actually beaten the Ravens, who were without Jamal Lewis for the whole season. Jamal Lewis is now coming back for 2002. Speaking of that, Priest Holmes had a really good season in 2001 on the Chiefs. Can he repeat and have another great year? Along with Tony Gonzalez and newly acquired QB Trent Green. The Raiders had just come off a terrible playoff loss in the divisional round off a rule that to this day is still one of the most controversial in history. Back then, it's still in all history. As for also the AFC, the Colts had just suffered a down year with no playoffs, and Peyton Manning had regressed a little. However, can Peyton recover back and become back to the great quarterback he was in 2000? And finally, there was also that Miami Dolphins defense, as well as other teams that have gone around throughout this whole league. However, that's AFC. In NFC, the Rams had just lost the Super Bowl. However, they still had that greatest show on turf offense with Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, and Isaac Bruce, as well as Ricky Proehl. In real life, the team collapsed after the Super Bowl loss. Will that be the same in Madden? We'll have to find out what happens in the reset. However, how they got here and who they beat was an interesting one. Brett Favre was still the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, and he is starting to hit into his early 30s. Will Favre be able to get back on the point after throwing 6 interceptions? Pretty ugly. However, another team as well that's really starting to get on the rise is the Philadelphia Eagles. Donovan McNabb became a major passer and also led the team to its NFC divisional round. However, if they would lose that. And also another team as well that has had eyes on it has been the New York Giants. The Giants, Michael Strahan had just broken the sack record, ironically, off Brett Favre. And obviously, the story is, could Strahan break his own record? We'll have to see how that works. Cowboys, who will we talk about? However, the team is not exactly the way it was back in the 90s. In fact, they're currently in a rebuild mode since they're starting Quincy Carter at quarterback. However, it's still to talk about. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have assembled an all-time defense and also have a very good offense ran by Keyshawn Johnson and Brad Johnson. So, obviously, it held some specialty. And finally, there is the Atlanta Falcons with the starting quarterback in his first official full year as a starter. This man, Michael Vick.
Vick in trouble, escapes, still on the run, looks for the change, and he'll pick up the first down on 4th and 15.
Hello guys, this is the Sad Falcons here, and folks, I'm so excited to finally get this series started. We've got what would happen if I resim the NFL. This is going to be, I think, like a 19-year sim, 2002 to 2019. Really, it's more the 2020 NFL draft to that point. So, obviously, this is going to be an interesting one. We're going all the way back to 2002. As you heard in the intro about all the major important things, there may be other things that are important from how this has started than what it is. Now, if you're looking at the team right now, we're utilizing the Detroit Lions. However, we are not gonna be even like doing anything. We're not doing anything. We're gonna let CPU do everything. And obviously, we're gonna check in the NFL roster real quick. For 2002, there are actually no 99s overall. There's 4 98s, no 99s. And here are all the players that are the high overalls. And you know, obviously, it's going to be a fun series. I cannot wait to do this because we're going through all the year. We're going to be doing the drafts. We're doing all that, and we're actually going to get the sim started right now for the 2002 season. However, I've got to stop in week 3 so I can actually put in the actual Ross draft class. Because now that you have actual draft class in Madden 20, you can do that, and I've got to actually import the actual thing in here because I have every single draft class from 2002 to 2020 basically. And we're basically going to see the reason why we got stopped in 2020 is because of the wild card. They had an extra wild card, a 7th team for the playoffs. Plus, also we could go as far as we could go. I think would be the 2021 season because of the fact that they increased to 17 games. So, anyways, we're gonna be we're now in gonna be going to week 3, and we're just gonna be doing scouting, and after that, we're just gonna go in. So, real quick, import local files. I'm on PlayStation 4. And here they are. These are all the draft classes I'm using. And there's 2020, which is actually, I think, 2019 for some reason. I have no idea why. We're importing the 2003 draft class. And here they are. This is apparently the real life draft class. So, say, let's do Carson Palmer. He is said at a late first rounder. So, Charles Rogers, rest in peace. He is there. We're gonna go through then Calvin Pace, Andre Johnson. He could end up being like the number 1 out of the draft. There's John Steincobb. I know I butchered that horribly. And there's not Byron Leftwich. That's Byron freaking Leftwich. That's Human York. Again, I know I just butchered that first name. But now, with that being said, I looked through all those. Those are some of the big guys went in the draft, and we're gonna be doing the 2002 and 2003 season. And now we're going to turn on Auto Scout on so that the rest of the teams will Auto Scout. And with that being said, now we're going to sim all the way now officially to the playoffs for the sim, as I've told you guys. Anyways, it's going to be 3 seconds for you, 3 minutes for me. Alright, we're in week 17. The screen is gonna be blacked out for you guys. I'm not looking, I literally have my hand over it, and the guys can't even freaking see it. That's the records. I'm going over the standings, and with the records, we're going over to AFC North. I believe the time's gonna start off. The winners of the AFC North are the Pittsburgh Steelers, the number 1 team in the entire NFL at 13-3. The Ravens get a wild card spot at 9-7. The Bengals fall a game short. They actually lose from a tiebreaker. And the Browns are the 2nd worst team in the NFL. So nothing changed really. At least not much. Now, in the AFC North, where I have one of our wild card teams and the conference winner in the AFC South winner is, not a shocker, the Indianapolis Colts. Although, shockingly and disgustingly, it's 8-8. Also, the Tennessee Titans go 8-8 and fail to make the playoffs. That's accurate, except that's not accurate for the Colts to go 8-8 during this era. The Jaguars and Texans are both 6-10, which I think is actually better than what the Texans ran in real life. I'm still interested to see how bad David Carr got sacked. I'm gonna check on that. But the winners in the AFC East are, what a shock, the New England Patriots at 10-6 though. So obviously the Jets, they actually, I think, were not a horrible team during this time. They go 9-7. The Dolphins failed to make the playoffs, also at 9-7, probably because conference. And the Bills sucked with Drew Bledsoe at 4-12. The winners of the AFC West, or the AFC West rankings, are well, not shocking, the Oakland Raiders. In real life, they actually were the number 1 team. They go 9-6-1. The Chiefs just fall short. They were the first team that failed to make the playoffs out of all the teams. Chargers are 8-8, and the Broncos are 5-11. Now it's NFC time. In the NFC North, as we look, it's the Green Bay Packers at 12-4. And they are probably second in the conference. They will get a first round bye though. The Chicago Bears go 9-7. They actually had a good season in 2001 and failed to make it to the NFC Championship because they actually lost in the NFC Divisional round. Despite having Chris Chandler at quarterback, they still make the playoffs. The Vikings and Lions both go 6-11. So the Vikings were accurate. The NFC South, it's time to see. Let's go! There is no way this is real. The Falcons go 12-4. The Carolina Panthers, 9-7. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are also 9-7. They both failed to make the playoffs. The Saints have the worst record in the league at 2-14. So I don't know, though, if they'll use the first-round pick on Carson Palmer. They may use it on, somebody else. Saints end up being the worst record in the league. The Falcons are number 1 in the NFC. They get a first-round pick with Vick at quarterback. In the NFC West is even though it's Los Angeles, it's the St. Louis Rams, basically. They are 11-5, so they still were covered after a bad Super Bowl loss, unlike real life. The Arizona Cardinals go 8-8, which is actually not bad. The San Francisco 49ers, they actually won the division. In real life, they went 7-9. And then the Seattle Seahawks went paltry 5-11. So that's your record. Some pretty insane stuff. Oh, and the NFC East. I completely skipped over the NFC East. The Cowboys, despite having Quincy Carter at quarterback, did make the playoffs. The Eagles were the second wild card team in at 10-6. Washington went 8-8. I mean, it canceled for showing that. And the Giants sucked at 6-10. Seems like real life now. Now we're back at accurate times. Or actually how things go in real life. Not schedule. I'm a freaking idiot. Stats. We gotta see who led the league in passing. And it was Jeff Garcia. He went 4,696 yards. Who had the most touchdowns? Jeff Garcia and Chad Pennington. That's interesting. Jeff Garcia. It's either gonna be Jeff Garcia or Chad Pennington. Who led the league in the most picks? It was Jay Fiedler at 16. Tim Couch, 15. Rodney Peete was the Panthers starting quarterback. Now rushing. Who led the league in rushing? Not shocking. Priest Holmes. 1,725 yards, 16 touchdowns. Marshall Faulk, the only one who even came close to the same amount of touchdowns. He had 1,500 yards. And did Priest Holmes actually score the most touchdowns? Yeah, he did. And it's really not even close. Now, receiving-wise, T.O. led the league in passing yards. And touchdowns, I saw someone with 17. David Boston, the Arizona Cardinals. Wow, that's a throwback to a free agent bust right there. And then defensively, who led the NFL in attacking? Cedric Hodge. That's a name and a half right there. 148 tackles. And Joe Johnson led the league with 20.5 sacks. Who in the hell is Joe Johnson? That is a name I've never heard of. I'm sorry if you were a great player. I've just never really heard of you. Brock Marion and Aeneas Williams led the NFL with 6 picks, and kicking, who had, I think that the longest field goal was a 55 yards, so no even close to breaking the record. How many? I'm still interested to see who got sacked the most. Jeff Garcia only got sacked 20 times. John Kitna got sacked 50 times. So David Carr only got sacked. He got sacked 37 times, which is actually, I think, half of what he got sacked in real life. So he might not actually get ruined like he was in real life. I mean, he was a superstar. MVP with numbers like Jeff Garcia did throwing the football. He wins MVP. Vic in second. Priest Holmes third. Chad Pennington fourth. Jake Plummer in fifth, David Carr in sixth, Steve McNair seventh, Tom Brady in eighth, Brett Favre ninth, and Marshall Faulk 10th. So already we're off to a great start today. Priest Holmes was Offensive Player of the Year, and the AFC Defensive Player of the Year is Ray Lewis, which actually got probably legitimately. Well, Joe Johnson probably wins Defensive Player of the Year with his numbers, and I think Priest Holmes and Joe Johnson probably should be Offensive Player of the Year. Joey Harrington somehow won. Let's check AFC, make sure. It almost always goes to court. Yeah, easily. Joey Harrington wins Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year. Probably, I guess. I don't even know who the hell any of these guys are. God, the 2002 class is so bad. At least how they rank them overall. So now our last thing we've got to do is see playoff schedule. The Raiders take on, or the Jets take on the Raiders, Bears take on the Rams, Ravens take on the Colts, and Eagles and Cowboys rivalry. Oh, that's going to be a good one. All right. So now it's time to sim the next week. We didn't make the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. We're going to sim now to the divisional round, go game by game, and see who made the screen. Now, right now is going to be blacked out. I have my hand covering my face, and we are going to the Jets-Ravens game, and it is Raiders, a 27-21 overtime win for the Oakland Raiders. Overall, it looked like actually similar, like offensive numbers. The Jets had just a little bit more offensive numbers, but the Raiders did not, like, at least overall it was actually I don't know what it was overall. The Raiders actually had one turnover, despite the Jets playing better. The Raiders, the Raiders did that, and there it is. The Rich getting 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Everybody had like a very solid game. So now our next game is the Rams beating the Bears in a comeback attempt by the Bears. The Rams hold them off 24-21. Kurt Warner throws is 2 touchdowns, 240 yards. Jesse Palmer went into the game. And there's Jim Miller. What? Chris Chandler didn't even play. Did Chris Chandler actually play? I actually have no idea if Chris Chandler did play. I don't know if I'll understand. Actually, I don't understand that. Overall, again, similar game by both teams. Now it's time for our next game, and it's the Ravens and Colts. So the Colts absolutely destroyed the freaking Ravens, 37-6. Peyton Manning threw 3 touchdowns. Jeff Blake threw 2 picks, and rushing wise, Edgerrin James absolutely just went on the ground. Deatron Smith had literally Travis Taylor had a monster game, but other than that, it's just disgusting from what the Ravens even put up. Like 6 points, that's bad. And finally, the rivalry game we were looking for, and it was a classic. 21-20, a 17-7 Cowboys comeback. Could have been 20-7 comeback. Randall Cunningham ends up, the Cowboys end up signing him out of free agency. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Donovan McNabb 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Yeah, I guess the Cowboys signed Randall Cunningham out of free agency because he was a free agent going into the year. Deuce Staley had a very good game, 20 attempts. Overall, they had 30 rushing attempts. It was pretty insane. No one actually had 100 yards in the game. So that's that for the wild card. Now, division round, it's the Colts in Pittsburgh, the Cowboys at Atlanta, the Raiders take on the Patriots. A rematch. Oh, it's a rematch almost exactly against the same team. Will the Raiders get revenge? And it's the Rams versus Pack. It's literally like two out of the four are literally rematches from the year before. Wow, this game's like actually can pull some crap off. And the game's also pretty amazing. So, division round. Who will advance to the conference championship? I may actually have to do this year by year because this is taking a lot longer than I really wanted to. The schedule, screen's blacked out. Again, this is a pain. Covering my face, going to game, and it is for the Colts and Steelers. The Colts upset the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers tried making a major comeback, but they were not able to do it. They scored 22 points in the fourth quarter, but failed to come back. And it was Tommy Maddox. Wow. So 7 touchdowns, 4 picks combined by both quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks threw 2 picks. So it was Tommy Maddox who did lead the Steelers to the playoffs. Manning, though, is going to lead his team to the AFC Championship. Edgerrin James had 2 rushing touchdowns, 75 yards. And receiving wise, Hines Ward 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. So big game right there. Now our next game up, I believe, is Cowboys at Falcons. Please, God, tell me the Falcons actually wasn't going to get first rounded. And we got freaking first rounded. We got first rounded. Wow. You do not want to be hosting. We lost 27-21. All we needed was 1 touchdown. Cunningham and Vic both threw 2 touchdowns. Vic threw a pick. Wow. If Randall Cunningham somehow leads this Dallas team to the Super Bowl, like, I literally eat some paper on live. Well, not live. This is it, but literally while I'm recording this, I'll eat paper live on camera. So obviously that was Emmitt Smith had 100 yards on the ground, which is more than I think anybody else had combined. Receiving wise, Darryl Jones, 80 yards. Wow, we're getting some shocking results. Our next game is Raiders and Patriots. The Raiders pull off the upset win and come back. No. Oh my God, it's so cruel. It's so cruel. They lose by 4 to the freaking Patriots. Oh my God, it's actually cruel. Oh my God, they both threw 2 touchdowns. It's 1 touchdown and 1 pick combined. I swear to God, if they lost like a friggin' tuck, like a very similar tuck rule thing, that would have been the most insane thing. Like, nobody really actually probably combined for 100 yards. Troy Brown at 106. That's unbelievable. Like, that's actually unbelievable. That's just cruel. That's just friggin' cruel. And now our last game is Rams and Packers. And the Rams beat the Packers. And they scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. 3 out of the 4 teams hosting lost. So that means the Pats are going to be hosting their AFC Championship. And Brett Favre threw 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Kurt Warner threw 2 touchdowns. But I think, Marshall Faulk, 103 yards on 18 attempts, 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, I wonder if we could get a freaking rematch of this. Like, this is insane. Like, you do not want to host. So the Pats, and I believe it's the Cowboys, I think, will host for the NFC and AFC Championship. Let me go look at the playoff schedule to confirm that. And no, the Rams are hosting. Oh, that's going to be interesting. I wonder, do we get a rematch of the previous year's Super Bowl, the Rams and Pats, or do we get something else? I mean, who knows? We're going to send them to the Super Bowl, and after that, the screen is going to get blacked out. So what I'm going to do is I'm likely gonna do this season by season instead of 2 years because this is taking way too long. And right now there's as I'm recording this to let you know, it's a Thursday and I really don't want to do this like constantly. So screen is blacked out again. Playoffs. And we're at the Conference Championship. It's another Manning versus Brady showdown. Who will pull it off? Is it Brady or Manning? The Colts or Patriots? And it's Peyton Manning! And the Indianapolis Colts survive a late charge by the Pats. They win 31-28. Peyton Manning's his first Super Bowl. 33 touchdowns, 1 pick for Manning. Brady threw 2 touchdowns. Edgerrin James, that was the running game that made the difference. Edgerrin James, 107 yards and 1 touchdown. Let's go. The Colts actually made it to the Super Bowl. So now, Cowboys, Rams. What are we going to get? Is it going to be Randall Cunningham somehow pulling off one of the most unbelievable comebacks to do it again for the America's team? Or will the Rams return back to the Super Bowl on their revenge tour? It is the St. Louis Rams win 35-24. Kurt Warner threw 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Cunningham threw 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. And that's how the Cowboy season ends. Both Emmitt Smith and Mark Falk had over 80 yards. So Falk had 2 touchdowns to Smith's 1. And there's the magical run for America's team, the Cowboys. They actually made it to the conference championship, not getting eliminated of the wild card. Still a playoff failure. I know someone will be very happy about that, a Rams fan. But this is very interesting. It's the Rams versus the Colts, 2 of the best show power offenses in the entire league. Remember, you have Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Ricky Proehl, and you've also got as well on for the Colts, Peyton Manning. I don't think Reggie Wayne was actually even on the Colts. I think Dallas Clark was on the Colts. I know Marvin Harrison was on the Colts. Well, I need to make sure and check who's actually on the Colts as well. Yeah, Reggie Wayne was on the Colts. So obviously Reggie Wayne and as well as I believe no, Marcus Pollard. Oh, Clark was, I think Dallas Clark got drafted soon afterwards. But your winner, but obviously this is a game of legends, of offensive legendary showdown. This is a Super Bowl that I didn't think we could have, but we have a great run through. Now, we're going to send the Super Bowl. Once it appears, screen will be blacked out one final time, and we are going to see, will it be the greatest show on turf, winning their second Super Bowl in 4 years, or will it be Peyton Manning getting his first ring of his career, of what could turn into a legendary career, and the Indianapolis Colts, Rams, who gets it? It's going to be, wow, that was a fail. Thank God. All right, Colts and Rams, who is it going to be? It is the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning has got his first ring. 24-14, the Rams went scoreless until the fourth quarter. They tried making a comeback, but it was too late. Manning, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Great game by both quarterbacks. 2 touchdowns for Warner, 3 for Manning. He threw all their touchdowns. Edgerrin James had 83 yards. And Marshall Faulk had 77. Manning actually had 3 rushes for 14, which I don't even know if he actually had a game like that. But still, Peyton Manning is a Super Bowl winner 5 years before he did it. Or actually, that was 4 years, not 5. But still, that is a great run. That is amazing. So now, with that being said, the Indianapolis Colts, I hope all the Colts fans are happy about that. That was insane, though. I couldn't believe that actually ended up going on. Yeah, now we send to the draft. However, the way the draft is going to work, though, not beforehand, but what we're actually going to do, though, is look at what goes on in free agency, see if there's any big free agent signings. And then after that, we're going to get in the draft, and then that's probably going to be it for this, because this is taking a lot longer, again, as I stated, to, actually, do this video. But yeah, hope you guys are going to enjoy the series, because this is going to be a long freaking series, very long. This could be a year or 2. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well, along with our Madden content. So now, anyways, free agency for the 2003 free agents. That 2 we signed. The Lions isn't bad. The best is a freaking kicker. He signed with the Saints. Sebastian Janikowski, some of the Bills, went from the Raiders to the Bills. Barry Sims goes to the Texans, which they need offensive line because they don't have anybody. So yeah, overall, Kevin Johnson signs with the Cowboys. Randall Cunningham has a wild run with the Cowboys. Now he goes and signs with the Panthers. Charlie Garner signs with the Saints after how his Raiders tenure ends. So overall, there's a lot of older players, but you can see though, we have some interesting ones. Now, I'm interested in any major quarterbacks. Trent Dilfer to the Bengals. That might actually be better. Jake Delhomme to the Bengals as well. So Bengals signed Trent Dilfer and Jake Delhomme. Sean King to the Cowboys. Jesse Palmer, the Bears. So that might be the Cowboys' new starting quarterback after Cunningham. But now it's time for the NFL draft. And with that being said, pause the draft. We're just going to go through some of these players real quick. Here are the guys on the roster. You guys can see. And yeah, there's Dallas. Speaking of Dallas Clark, there he is. Robert Mathis, Marcus Trufant, and some of these other guys as well. I'm interested to see who goes number 1 overall, because something's telling me it's not going to be Carson Palmer. With the first pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Charles Rogers. Wow. Oh, wow. That wouldn't be a bad pick, but the problem is he's 66. Rest in peace, Charles Rogers. Wow, that is a New Orleans pick right there. Cleveland Browns may literally have a chance to not screw this up because they have Tim Couch, but Carson Palmer's on the board. Will Carson Palmer fall, or will he be taken number 2 overall by the Cleveland Browns? With the second pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select. There it is! Carson Palmer to the Cleveland Browns. So this is already amazing. So now we get to see his career get wasted potentially by the Browns. Maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, they've had enough of Tim Couch, and Carson Palmer will be their new starter out of USC. So now the Bills still have 2 big wide receivers, I believe, essentially on the board. They have Andre Johnson, they have other guys as well. With the third pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Calvin Pace, or you can take Calvin Pace. Probably do need some help on the defense, and it's gonna be a good pick. Now, with the fourth pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select. There's Andre Johnson. So Andre Johnson's now going to be a Denver Bronco with Brian Griese at quarterback, as well as I believe Clinton Portis, because Clinton Portis was rookie in 2002. So that's going to be an interesting team you got to keep your eye on. At the fifth pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select. There's Osi Umenyiora. I butcher the name all the time, I don't care. But that is big though, because the Seahawks defense will get an immediate boost and upgrade with Osi Umenyiora. With the 6th pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select John Stidham. Immediate help to defense, or actually that's not defense, that's right tackle. They need to protect David Carr at all costs because you don't want him to get killed out there, which they're doing somewhat not a bad job of, but yeah, there it is. So John Stidham, I still have no idea who that even is. I'm sorry to that guy. If you are in some I watched this video, no you're not. Well, the 7th pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Jordan Gross, left tackle. Actually, good pick. Because again, Jordan Gross was high ranked on the board. So, that was good. So, now it's us. With the 8th pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select E.J. Henderson. Not a bad pick. Linebacker. Hold on, I just gotta look real quick at linebacker. Just make sure to see how linebacker was. Yeah, we had a 56 playing at middle linebacker. That's definitely a huge gain. That'll help us out. Middle linebacker instantly became better. And with the 9th pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Marcus Trufant, corner. Again, very helpful because, again, defense will definitely be a problem. And now, to wrap up the top 10 and the last pick I will show through this before I send to the end of the draft, is going to be the New York Giants. With the 10th pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Kato Jing. So that's not ugly, but probably could have been better. But yeah, there's no O.C. Umanor, so obviously not going to help. Anyways, we're going to sim to the end of the draft, see where all major players go, and see where all the quarterbacks end up, because I know Carson Palmer is not the only quarterback on the board. Charles Rogers, number 1 overall to the Saints. Carson Palmer, number 2 overall to the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, that's freaking insane. And that's instantly, I've got to show this to all people before the video actually comes out, because that's amazing. All right, draft recap time. So, there it is. We ended up getting the 71 overall. Now see the entire NFL with their picks, first rounds. So with pick number 7, oh, the 49ers get Dallas Clark. Wow, Dallas Clark. So that should help their offense, because Jeff Garcia, that's another target for Jeff Garcia. Boss Bailey goes to the Titans. Terrence Newman to the Colts, great corner. Nami Asagma, I again butchered that. Terrell Suggs is going to Washington. That's big. Byron well, there's the Bengals' new starting quarterback. It's going to be Byron Leftwich, which actually is an upgrade from Trent Dilfer. Don't tell what's his face about that. Mel Kiper. Willis McGee goes to the Buccaneers. In real life, I think they got Charlie Gardner, I think, or was that 2005? I don't know. Charles Tillman goes to the Panthers. This is another good pick. Kevin Williams to the Dolphins. Nate Burleson, why is he rated a 70? I feel like he should be higher rated than 70. I have no idea, but he goes to the Chiefs. That'll be a great offense. Ken Hamlin goes to the Jets defense. Robert Mathis to the Raiders. There's some youth to help with that defensive line. And now Anquan Bolden goes to the Ravens. I think Bolden actually did end up on the Bolden actually end up on the Ravens? Not sure. Oh, and the highest rated, I believe, the whole draft is Jason Witten. Oh! Do not show this to Cowboys fans. Do not show this to Cowboys fans. The Philadelphia Eagles draft Jason Witten, a target for Donovan McNabb. That's going to be deadly. Hank Milligan. Oh, I forgot the Raiders have 2 first-round picks, so I'll help immediately at safety. Rasheem Mathis goes to the Packers. Asante Samuel to the Falcons. I think David Dale went to the Steelers, which will help the offensive line. Wow. Oh my God! Rex Grossman was a first-round pick for the freaking Cowboys. Oh, this game's amazing. This sim's already amazing. And we still got 17 years left. So Cowboys fans are absolutely seething at this. So Terrence McGee. Wait, hold on. Was that? Hold on. Am I seeing this right? Oh no, Willis McGahee. So that's McGee. Yeah, Terrence McGee. Patriots take a corner. They'll probably turn him into a legend. Jeff Fang goes to the Rams offensive line, and Vince Manu is the last first-round pick for the champion. Indianapolis Colts. Lance Briggs actually has is the second round pick. Let's just see the highest overall. Oh, Olive Miguel. Who is Olive Miguel? Oh, excuse me. Troy Polamalu did not get taken in the second round. He goes to the Miami Dolphins. Oh, this defense for the Dolphins is still killer. They have Jason Taylor. Now I'm freaking Troy Polamalu. So Antonio Gates also did not get picked in the first round. He got picked by the Seahawks. Seahawks have gotten some good picks here. Is there anybody else major that was taken in the first round? Gary Backett. That was better than their first overall pick, folks. Just let that sink in for a second. Some other decent later round picks, but nothing that crazy. The Dolphins did get 71 in the 6th round. Now I'm interested to see what about all the last thing is all the quarterbacks. So most of you guys, I do not know. I'm sorry. I just don't know. Brian St. Pierre, that's a name. Chris Sims goes to the Bucks. I've done actually, this is my first sim. Chris Sims actually goes to the Bucks. This is not the first time that's happened. Seneca Wallace to the Bills. Kyle Bowler to the friggin' Jets. And that's it. Larry Johnson actually ends up on the Chargers to back up LaDainian Tomlinson. That's going to be a destruction type of running backfield. But yeah, so overall, what we've learned very fast, Madden's an insane game. And Carson Palmer is on the Browns. And the Rex Grossman was a freaking first round pick. So that being said, that's going to do it for part 1 because this took way too long to do. And yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing year 1. And I can't wait to do this and continue this series. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this because this is part 1. Anyways, folks, that's going to do it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time.